Brooklyn Nets versus Charlotte Hornets. The 2025-26 NBA season tips off in Charlotte as the Hornets host the Brooklyn Nets at the Spectrum Center in what promises to be an intriguing early-season showdown between two franchises charting different courses. The Hornets, backed by a 60.2% win probability, open their campaign at home looking to establish momentum in the competitive Southeast Division. Brooklyn, meanwhile, enters from the Atlantic Division with plenty of questions about consistency and chemistry, hoping to silence early doubts and spoil Charlotte's opener. Both teams finished their preseason stretches with mixed results, and the game will serve as a measuring stick for how off-season adjustments translate into regular season success. Charlotte's young core, led by a rejuvenated lineup emphasizing pace and spacing, aims to capitalize on home court energy. Their last 5 preseason outings showed flashes of promise, particularly in offensive bursts against teams like Memphis and Dallas, where the Hornets posted 145 and 120 points, respectively. Brooklyn, on the other hand, ended preseason with a pair of nail-biting contests, including an overtime loss to Phoenix and a narrow defeat to Toronto, raising both concerns and optimism. The Nets' reliance on perimeter play and new defensive schemes will be tested immediately against a Hornets team that thrives on transition opportunities. While this isn't a pitching duel, the basketball equivalent lies in the battle of floor generals and interior anchors. For Brooklyn, the offensive rhythm will depend on how their lead guard orchestrates the attack, balancing ball movement with shot creation from the wings. The Nets' interior defense, weakened slightly with forward Haywood Highsmith ruled out until mid-December, will face immediate scrutiny against Charlotte's front-court depth. The Hornets, boasting a balanced attack, will rely heavily on their emerging stars to set tempo, utilizing their quickness and half-court execution to expose Brooklyn's rotational defense. Offensively, the Hornets come into this matchup firing on all cylinders. Their recent preseason scoring average hovered above 125 points per game, with several contributors showing improved efficiency from deep. The backcourt's scoring punch, combined with versatile wings who can stretch the floor, makes Charlotte a dangerous opponent at home. Brooklyn counters with a more deliberate offensive setup, emphasizing spacing and three-point shooting. If their shooters can find rhythm early, they can negate Charlotte's athleticism and make this a battle of offensive execution. The Nets' ability to create second-chance points and maintain control in half-court sets will be critical in offsetting the Hornets' speed. Recent trends suggest momentum favors Charlotte. Despite preseason inconsistency, their wins over strong opponents such as Memphis, 145-116, and Dallas, 120-116, revealed a potent offense capable of quick runs and defensive resilience. Brooklyn's form, though less convincing, showed competitive grit in high-scoring matchups, including a 132-127 overtime loss to Phoenix and a commanding 123-88 win against Hapoel. Still, their defense struggled in transition, a weakness Charlotte is well-equipped to exploit. Injuries may tilt the balance further. With Highsmith sidelined, Brooklyn's depth on the wing takes a hit, leaving their rotations thinner against Charlotte's versatile forwards. Both teams start 0-0, but their outlooks differ. Charlotte aims to build on its growth and challenge Southeast rivals like Atlanta and Miami for a playoff spot. Brooklyn, in the tougher Atlantic Division with Boston and Philadelphia, faces a harder climb. Early wins like this could be key when playoff races tighten later in the season. Depth and health may prove decisive. Charlotte's full roster lets them mix youth and experience effectively, while Brooklyn's loss of Highsmith hurts their defense and small ball options. The bench duel could shift momentum. Charlotte's reserves flashed scoring in preseason, but Brooklyn's second unit needs steadier production. Charlotte's transition game and rebounding will be pivotal, while Brooklyn's perimeter shooting decides if they can stay close. If the Hornets' scorers find rhythm early, home court could tip it their way. But if the Nets control tempo and hit from deep, it may turn into a slower, grinded-out battle suiting their style. Prediction: the analytics edge, home court energy, and superior recent form give Charlotte a measurable advantage. Expect the Hornets to ride an early scoring surge and maintain control down the stretch. Brooklyn will compete with effort and flashes of offensive brilliance, but Charlotte's balance and depth should carry them to victory. Projected final: Hornets 118, Nets 110. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is Charlotte Hornets winner. Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments box. Philadelphia 76ers versus Boston Celtics. The 2025-26 NBA season tips off with a high-stakes Atlantic Division showdown as the Boston Celtics host the Philadelphia 76ers at TD Garden. Both teams enter the year with championship aspirations and unfinished business after disappointing playoff exits last spring. Philadelphia, now led by Paul George alongside reigning MVP-caliber big man Joel Embiid, looks to assert its dominance early against a Celtics squad seeking redemption under the continued leadership of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. This matchup represents a collision between two franchises built for contention, each looking to set the tone for the season in one of basketball's fiercest rivalries. While the 76ers enter with a slight analytical edge at 51.9% to Boston's 48.1%, neither side has much separating them on paper. The Celtics begin their campaign at home, where they have traditionally excelled, while the Sixers arrive riding strong preseason form, having won 3 of their last 5 tune-ups. The contest also carries early Atlantic Division implications, with all 5 teams starting 0-0 and the Celtics favored to once again top the standings after last year's near-title run. Boston's fortunes could hinge on its health. Jason Tatum remains out until April with a long-term injury, while Jaylen Brown is listed as day-to-day with a game-time decision status. Without Tatum's scoring and versatility, Boston will rely heavily on Drew Holiday and Derek White to initiate offense, while Kristaps Porzingis will be tasked with stretching the floor against Embiid's paint dominance. Philadelphia isn't without its own injury concerns. Newcomer Paul George and forward Trendon Watford are both sidelined until later in the week, leaving extra offensive responsibility on Embiid and guard Tyrese Maxey. Rookie guard Jared McCain is also out until November, trimming Philly's backcourt depth. The Sixers' offensive identity still flows through Embiid, whose ability to control tempo and punish mismatches will be critical. Maxey's speed and three-point improvement give the Sixers an explosive edge in transition, while veteran role players like Tobias Harris and Kelly Oubre Jr. provide floor spacing and secondary scoring. Boston counters with one of the league's most disciplined defenses. Porzingis anchors the paint, while Holiday's perimeter defense remains elite. Boston's ability to contain Maxey's drives and force Embiid into double teams could dictate the pace and rhythm of the night. In recent form, Philadelphia's last 5 outings show offensive potency but streaky defense. They averaged 117.2 points while surrendering over 110 points. Their best showing came in a 126-118 win over Minnesota, showcasing balanced scoring. Conversely, Boston's preseason and late playoff stretch reflect defensive resilience. They've topped 120 points twice and handled Toronto 110-108 in a sharp home showing, though inconsistency, like their 119-81 loss to New York, remains a concern without Tatum. From a standings perspective, this opening clash is about momentum rather than margin. With the Atlantic Division projected to be tightly contested, an early statement win could have ripple effects on tiebreakers and seeding later in the season. Boston's home crowd advantage at TD Garden often amplifies their defensive intensity, but the Sixers' road-tested core knows how to silence hostile arenas. Depth will play a pivotal role. Philadelphia's bench, led by DeAnthony Melton and Paul Reed, provides defensive versatility and rebounding, while Boston's second unit, featuring Sam Hauser and Peyton Pritchard, brings perimeter shooting that can ignite quick runs. The absence of Tatum and George means that rotational cohesion and energy off the bench may decide the outcome more than star power alone. Key X factors include Maxi's ability to exploit Boston's pick-and-roll coverage, Porzingis's interior defense against Embiid, and Holiday's role as both facilitator and secondary scorer. If Embiid dominates early, Boston could struggle to match Philadelphia's physicality. However, if Porzingis stretches the floor and the Celtics' shooters catch fire, the Garden could witness a classic early-season shootout. Expect a tightly contested opener defined by execution and adjustments. Analytics suggest a near coin flip, but Boston's home court composure and defensive system could slightly tilt the scales. Still, Philadelphia's size and interior scoring give them an edge in the trenches. Prediction: in a competitive battle that showcases Eastern Conference intensity, the 76ers edge out the Celtics 112-107, powered by a dominant Embiid double-double and timely scoring from Maxey. Boston keeps it close behind Holiday's leadership, but depth and rebounding favor the Sixers in the season's first statement win. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is Philadelphia 76ers winner. Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments box. Washington Wizards versus Milwaukee Bucks. The 2025-26 NBA season tips off with the Milwaukee Bucks welcoming the Washington Wizards to Fiserv Forum in a matchup that pits a seasoned contender against a young team still searching for its identity. Milwaukee, boasting a veteran core and championship aspirations, opens the campaign as heavy favorites with a 79.5% win probability. Washington, on the other hand, enters the season looking to develop its emerging talent and surprise skeptics in a competitive Eastern Conference. Both teams begin with clean slates in the standings, but their goals couldn't be more different. The Bucks are built for a deep playoff run, while the Wizards are focused on growth and cohesion under a youthful roster. Milwaukee's strength remains its balance between experience and efficiency. Returning with one of the league's most complete lineups, the Bucks look to reassert themselves atop the Central Division after a strong finish last season. Their last 5 preseason games showcased solid offensive form, highlighted by a tight 127-121 win over the Bulls and a competitive overtime loss to Indiana. Washington's preseason, meanwhile, revealed flashes of promise but also inconsistency. The Wizards split their last 5 games, posting wins over New York and Miami, but suffering blowout defeats to Chicago and Detroit. Those results underline a team still finding defensive rhythm and offensive continuity. Although no traditional pitching matchup exists in basketball, the backcourt duel will define this contest. Milwaukee's veteran point guard will dictate pace and spacing, leveraging his court vision and three-point threat to exploit Washington's inexperienced guards. The Wizards' young floor general, likely rookie Will Riley if cleared to play, faces a steep challenge. Riley, listed as game-time decision, has shown flashes of creativity but must limit turnovers against Milwaukee's disciplined perimeter defense. Washington's Bilal Coulibaly, ruled out until November, leaves a noticeable gap in their defensive rotations, particularly on the wing, a disadvantage against Milwaukee's potent scoring threats. Offensively, Milwaukee continues to thrive through its two-headed star combination. Their all-NBA forward remains the engine of their attack, dominating the paint while improving as a playmaker. His inside-out chemistry with the team's sharpshooting guards allows the Bucks to maintain top-tier offensive efficiency. In preseason action, Milwaukee averaged over 115 points per game, a testament to their fast tempo and spacing. Washington's offense hinges on perimeter scoring and transition play. With Coulibaly sidelined, the scoring load falls heavily on Kyle Kuzma and Jordan Poole, who must generate offense against one of the league's best defensive units. If Riley is active, His playmaking could open driving lanes and help Washington stay competitive early. The recent trends point clearly in Milwaukee's favor. The Bucks went 3-2 in their last 5 tune-up games, displaying clutch execution late in close contests. Washington's 2-3 record and struggles against playoff-caliber teams highlight their uneven form. The Wizards' defense allowed over 115 points in 3 of their last 5, raising concerns about rim protection and rebounding. Milwaukee's depth, both in the starting 5 and off the bench, provides a distinct edge, especially at home, where they've been dominant historically. Milwaukee enters as a Central Division favorite, set to contend with Chicago and Cleveland for the top spot. Washington, meanwhile, faces a tougher path in the Southeast, where Atlanta and Miami lead the pack. The Wizards' season centers on growth and development, but an opening night upset could spark optimism. For Milwaukee, the focus is preserving health and chemistry for another deep playoff run. Injuries could subtly impact this opener. Washington's uncertainty with Will Riley may stretch their backcourt depth, while Coulibaly's absence reduces defensive versatility against switches. Milwaukee, entering at full strength, enjoys a stability edge that could matter early in the season. The X factors center on tempo, defense, and composure. Washington needs to push the pace and score in transition to offset Milwaukee's half-court control. Meanwhile, the Bucks' rebounding and veteran poise could dictate the flow. For the Wizards, limiting turnovers is crucial. Milwaukee's defense turns mistakes into quick points. Prediction: Milwaukee's depth, home court edge, and continuity should fuel a strong season-opening win. Expect the Bucks to separate after halftime with sharper defense and balanced scoring. Analytics favor them decisively. Projected final: Bucks 118, Wizards 104. Still, Washington's young core may show flashes of promise despite the likely loss. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is Milwaukee Bucks winner. Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments box. Sacramento Kings versus Phoenix Suns. The 2025-26 NBA season tips off in the desert as the Phoenix Suns host the Sacramento Kings at the Mortgage Matchup Center, a meeting that promises to set the tone for both teams' campaigns in the Pacific Division. Phoenix enters with home court confidence and a 61.8% win probability according to predictive models, while Sacramento looks to defy odds despite key injuries. Both teams are chasing an early edge in a division stacked with contenders like the Warriors and Clippers. For the Suns, it's about maintaining their status as a veteran-heavy contender built to win now. For the Kings, it's a test of depth and resilience without some of their core players. Phoenix's revamped backcourt will be under the spotlight as they prepare to debut their new-look rotation featuring rising star Jalen Green, who will miss the opener with a minor injury, and reliable wing Grayson Allen, listed as a game-time decision. The Suns' front court remains their foundation, led by versatile scorers and steady rim protection that should challenge Sacramento's interior. The Kings, meanwhile, will rely heavily on perimeter efficiency to compensate for the absences of Domantas Sabonis and Keegan Murray. Their offensive structure, built around quick ball movement and spacing, will test whether their supporting cast can rise above expectations early in the year. Offensively, the Suns have a clear advantage in experience and star power. They've averaged over 110 points per game across their last 5 preseason outings, including a strong 113-104 win over the Lakers to close their exhibition slate. Phoenix's depth allows them to maintain scoring pressure even when their starters rest, with versatile scorers capable of stretching defenses. Sacramento, by contrast, has shown flashes of brilliance, most notably a 117-116 win over the Lakers. But inconsistency plagued their preseason, especially defensively, where they allowed over 120 points in 3 of their last 5 contests. The Kings' young guards will have to dictate pace and control turnovers if they hope to keep up with Phoenix's polished offense. Recent trends suggest both teams have something to prove. Sacramento went 2-3 in their final tune-up stretch, struggling to close out games but showing resilience in close finishes. Phoenix, also 2-3, leaned on late-game heroics from their veterans and showed improved chemistry after a sluggish start. The Suns' ability to protect the home floor remains one of their biggest strengths, while Sacramento's 0-0 away record belies last season's struggles on the road. Depth may prove crucial, with Sacramento missing Sabonis until October 26th and Murray until late November, costing them 2 of their top 3 rebounders and 38 combined points per game. Injury-wise, Phoenix's situation is far less severe. Jalen Green's absence will sting, but the Suns' offensive structure allows others to step up. Allen's game-time status could be pivotal. His shooting helps balance the floor and opens lanes for slashers. For the Kings, losing Sabonis not only limits interior scoring, but also removes one of the NBA's best passing big men, forcing the offense into more isolation-heavy sets. Keegan Murray's absence further reduces spacing, leaving Sacramento dependent on guards like De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk to carry the scoring load. X factors will determine the game's flow. Phoenix's perimeter shooting and veteran poise in clutch moments could tilt momentum their way, while Sacramento's energy and tempo can create transition opportunities if they dictate pace early. Bench contributions will also matter. Players like Trey Lyles and Harrison Barnes for the Kings and Eric Gordon for the Suns could swing the scoreboard with timely scoring bursts. In the broader Pacific Division context, every early win matters. Golden State already leads at 1-0, while the Clippers and Suns sit tied in pursuit. For Sacramento, this game could indicate whether they remain competitive amid injuries or risk falling behind early. Phoenix aims to establish itself as a strong Western Conference contender, poised to challenge for the division title. Analytics favor Phoenix's balance and home court edge, giving the Suns a 61.8% win probability backed by health, experience, and defensive versatility. Sacramento's injuries and uneven defense make them underdogs, though Fox's pace could keep things close early. Expect a tight first half before Phoenix's depth and poise prevail down the stretch. Prediction: Phoenix Suns 114, Sacramento Kings 106. The Suns' blend of veteran leadership and offensive balance should prove too much for a shorthanded Kings squad still searching for rhythm. Sacramento's energy may keep things close early, but Phoenix's execution and shot-making should secure a strong start to their season. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is Phoenix Suns winner. Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments box.